Hello, Baconites. That's right, I did say Baconites. Welcome to the very first of the 2017 Bellingham Anime Minicast. That's right, Minicast. These are going to be sporadically sprinkled throughout our normal podcast months. They're going to be a bit of introspective pieces. We're going to be giving you some really quick news updates, as well as discussing some things in the anime, video game, etc. world. And they're not going to be replacements for a big podcast. Those are still going to be uploaded in the first of every month. I know that one was not uploaded in the month of January, but not to worry. We're going to be back in February. So, real quick, big news update coming out very recently. I don't know if you guys saw this on any of our social media, but we've had our first two guest announcements for the year. Absolutely fantastic, really excited. Cosplay Repair Station and the Seattle Video Game Orchestra and Choir are going to be coming to the convention. If you don't know, Cosplay Repair Station, they've been around for a couple of years. They've been around since 2011, if I'm not mistaken. And they come through to all kinds of different conventions, and they set up a table. And if you have any problems with your costume, your prop, whatever, during the convention, you just go to them and they'll fix it right up for you. I've actually had a wonderful run-in with them at convention back in October of last year. I encountered them at KuronEkoCon. My belt fell apart. My gun holster had fallen off of my belt, and they were able to real quick just hot glue it back together. It wasn't the most sturdy hold, but it did hold for most of the rest of the day, and that was me just kind of rushing. It was at the end of the day. If you're there, they're there. They're going to sew you right up. They're going to glue you, tape you, whatever you need to make sure that your con stays incredible. On top of that, as I mentioned, we also have the Seattle Video Game Orchestra and Choir. They actually attended last year, if you recall. They were a lot of fun to have around. Basically, they do renditions of video game songs, whether it's from The Legend of Zelda or from Halo or really all kinds of different video games. You can actually check out their website, their Twitter, their Instagram, their Facebook, their SoundCloud, their YouTube. They have a lot of stuff. All of that is going to be in the description of this video, so go ahead and make sure you check that out. They also not sporadically, they actually fairly frequently, if I'm not mistaken, stream mini concerts on Twitch. So you can probably check out their Twitch and watch them do that live, and hopefully that'll give you a good idea of what to see during the convention when it comes around. Also, if you'll notice, we actually have a brand new picture right over here of the mascot Bella for this year in chibi form. Now, we're going to be using this as a sort of a way to differentiate between the normal podcast and the minicasts. She's going to be used in the minicasts. This was also drawn by the very same person who drew this year's primary mascot, berserkbrandee. If you want to go ahead and check out her Patreon that she just started up, that's going to be a lot of cool. If you don't know what Patreon, it's a subscription service. Basically, every month you pay a set amount of money, you get to choose how much money you pay, and depending on how much you pledge, you get access to different tier rewards. Every now and then, maybe you'll get access to see pictures before anybody else that she's drawn, or maybe you'll get the ability to, you might be able to access her Discord server, which will be a lot of fun. So she's just starting that up, so make sure you go check her out. I'll put the link to that in the description as well. Alright, on to some interesting things. First thing I do want to talk about in this video, besides our new guests, and by the way, we are looking into a few more guests, don't worry, it's not just going to be those guys, but a few things that are going to be coming up, or a few things that I want to discuss. A lot of people, you've probably heard about this, and you've probably heard about, I don't want to say the fiasco that occurred around it, but I definitely feel like I'm opening up a can of worms here. So, very recently, in the month of January, Crunchyroll hosted their very first Anime Awards, which was really, really cool, and a lot of people were super excited. They had categories like Best Anime, Best Animation, Best Boy, Best Girl, those types of things, and it was cool. It did have some flaws, and this is strictly an opinion piece. This isn't going to be facts. You can disagree with this if you want. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, what to think, but this is just my feelings on this. So with the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, there were definitely some great winners. There were some not great winners as well, and that's really what I do want to focus on. So I'm going to tell you the winners, my thoughts on some of those, etc., and we'll discuss why there was some controversy. So the very first award that was given out this year was Hero of the Year, and that went to Deku from My Hero Academia. He definitely deserved it. Admittedly, I've never actually watched My Hero Academia, but I know a lot of things about it. I've heard some fantastic things. I plan on watching it. I've just been really, really busy this past year, but I feel like he deserved it. Now, mind you, again, I haven't seen a lot of the anime that are going to be on this list, even though a lot of them are like the really popular, like mainstream anime right now. But I have no problem with that. The next one, I don't know. So, this may be a little bit spoilery, but if you've never watched the anime Erased, so this is the spoiler. The character Yashiro from Erased won Best Villain, and this is again coming from my personal experience. But Erased had a wonderful like first 3/4, and then it kind of plateaued a little bit. It wasn't the greatest thing I'd ever say. It wasn't bad per se, but there were other villains. Sorry, JoJo fandom, for sure. I know there were a lot of people that were really complaining about that, actually, in the JoJo fandom. But yeah, Yashiro got Best Villain. So take away from that what you will. Best Boy, again, I'm happy for this. And a lot of you probably, if you watched any anime in the last 3 months, probably expected this. Yuri Katsuki from Yuri on Ice managed to win. Actually, he managed to win over the runner-up by over 39% of the vote. Now, mind you, this was a poll. I think it had about 75,000 people or so that participated in this poll. So take away from it, again, what you will. But Yuri Katsuki, great character. Totally fine with that. Best Girl, I'm very happy. I know a lot of guys like me are very happy, actually, with Best Girl. It's Rem from ReZero, who, in a landslide, beat the runner-up by 45%. She got 60% of the vote. I just love her. I love her a lot. Best fight scene went to Shigeo versus Koyama, from Mob Psycho 100, I believe. I'll be honest, I'm not 100% certain, but I didn't watch Mob Psycho 100, so I can't really give much there. These next two are where the controversy came in. Okay, and we're going to talk about that. Best animation went to Yuri on Ice. And I want that to just settle for a moment, because there are people, Cambria, who participated in the very second episode of the Bellingham podcast, cannot watch this series because of how bad some of the animation is. Now, that's not to say that Yuri on Ice has horrible animation. It does not. It has some beautifully animated scenes. But overall, it lacked. Maybe if we were talking about best animated on Blu-ray rather than best animated when it aired. Now, if you've ever checked that out, like, go to Google, look up, like, Kill la Kill or something like that, or like a popular action anime from the past couple of years. Look up Crunchyroll versus Blu-ray, and you'll see the exact same scene beautifully animated on Blu-ray, because they go back and they redo all of the frames. And if that was the case, I maybe would have been able to accept it, but really, the animation... Most heartwarming scene also went to Yuri on Ice. The runner-up, as well as most popular other, definitely would have been better, in my opinion. So Yuri on Ice, the most heartwarming scene was the kiss scene, which wasn't bad. It was a shocker, because suddenly it became possible for an anime, a sports anime, to actually have the gay relationship that has been tossed in our faces for, years. IQ free Kurono basket. But at the same time, there were other scenes that were more heartwarming than the kiss. Definitely there were people that were excited about the kiss. I know I was very happy about the kiss. I kind of did like a fist in the air, but the other two scenes were actually tears in my eyes / on my face. It depended on the context. So the runner-up was Kaio's first home-cooked meal from Erased. And again, if you saw Erased and you saw that scene, I don't really think I need to talk about it. If you haven't seen the scene, there are a few words that can describe that emotion. Now, mind you, if you were to go and look up the scene on YouTube or something like that, you probably wouldn't feel too much for it because you don't really understand. But if you were to actually watch the series and watch Kaio progress, and then you have that home-cooked meal scene, that was the one I was actually actively sobbing at. The most popular other went to Rem's Confession from ReZero. Again, a super powerful, like, one of the most heartfelt speeches in anime in recent years. And it got shunted, not even to runner-up. Best Drama went to Erased. I have no problem with that. Best Couple, Yuri and Victor. Again, I didn't watch enough anime to really... I can't say for certain how I feel about that. One way or the other. Best Comedy went to... Haven't you heard I'm Sakamoto? I heard good things about it, but to my understanding, Konosuba had more people laughing than Sakamoto did. But whatever. Best Action went to Mob Psycho 100. Everybody is making the good fingers. I don't know how to describe it. It's like when you put your thumb and forefinger together and then you put the other three up in the air and you just, like, you do the thing. I don't know how to describe it, but everybody's making those fingers for Best Action. Best Opening, Yuri on Ice, History Maker. It was good. I think about it a lot, not necessarily on purpose, but Born to Make History are words that constantly cross... Actually, beginning of January, I went ice skating for the very first time. And let me tell you, I was on the ice for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. I probably said I'm born to make history a total of 90 plus times. Like, no exaggeration. Best Ending also went to Yuri on Ice. So again, there's other anime that probably deserved a lot of the awards that Yuri on Ice, and that's my opinion. I don't necessarily... I don't hate the show, but I don't love it like a lot of people do. I don't know why. I really don't know what it is about it that kind of irks me. Maybe it's the fans. Fans normally tend to kind of make shows, and not just for me, for a lot of people tend to make things really uncomfortable. Anyways, real quick, I want to talk about an anime that I'm super excited for that's actually started this month. And this is totally... We're off the topic of the Anime Awards. I want to really quickly talk about this anime. I hope you've heard of it, but if you haven't, I'm super duper excited. So, Little Witch Academia has just started this month, if I'm not mistaken, maybe at the end of December, don't quote me on that. Basically, if you don't know what Little Witch Academia is, it's from Studio Trigger, which is the studio who was behind Kill la Kill. They were behind, oh god, what else did they make? Gurren Lagann, and a few others. So obviously you know, they have good animation, they have good storytelling, right? Just from those two series, you're like, oh man. So, Little Witch Academia actually started off, to my knowledge, as a side project. They basically created a 60-minute anime movie. It was good. It was really good. And that was back in like 2011, and then there was nothing. And then a couple of years later, they made a sequel film, which was about a 70-minute anime movie, also really, really, really good. And then bombshell, out of nowhere, last summer, 2016, they announced that they were going to be having an actual animated series. So that actually just started. Wow, it is so good. Just, it blows my mind how well Studio Trigger can pump out these series. I mean, they not too long ago, they made Space Patrol Luluko, and then... What, it's been a couple months, maybe 6 months, and they have this show out, so it's really good. I'm super excited for it. I'm super ecstatic to see how it goes. Studio Trigger is one of my favorite animation studios. Also, interesting news that just came out recently. One thing that's super incredible, Your Name, the anime movie that has so many people ranting and raving, and I still haven't seen it because it's not over here in the West, has surpassed Spirited Away as the highest grossing anime movie of all time. And that is fantastic. So hopefully, very soon, considering that it is the highest grossing anime movie of all time, we'll be able to see it very soon. I don't even care if I have to go out and spend like $30 on a Blu-ray. It looks so good. It doesn't matter if it's not in theaters. Please, let me watch. I don't want it to, I don't care if it's dubbed. It could be dubbed entirely by Vic Mignogna. and I would watch it. I wouldn't necessarily be happy, but I would watch it. So we'll see what happens. There. Really just praying for it. Anyways, final remarks, because this is gonna, as I said, it's a minicast. It's like 20 minutes long, if that. So, final remarks real fast. Make sure to check out bellinghamanimecon.com, our official website where we're going to be posting all of our news and updates and all sorts of fun goodies. As well as check out our Facebook page, Bellingham Anime, I believe it's Bellingham Anime Con, as well as our Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. All of those, Bellingham Anime, whatever, bellinghamanime.tumblr.com, twitter.com/Bellingham, all of those. And that's hopefully, we can have more people checking out those social media sites. We actually don't have a whole lot. You'd be surprised. We don't have a whole lot. So if you're in the neighborhood, go ahead and check those out. Also be sure, if you are interested in appearing on a podcast, either a minicast or a full-length one, make sure you send an email to bellinghamanime bellinghamanime@gmail.com. Make sure you send an email to bellinghamanime@gmail.com with the subject line podcast, and I'll be sure to get you on a podcast if at all possible. Also, if you're afraid of doing a face-to-face meetup, that's totally fine because I can conduct over Skype. If you have Skype, we can definitely do an episode through there. We can discuss the latest gaming, anime, manga, whatever news, as well as news about Bellingham Anime Convention. Make sure you share this video with your friends and check out all of the links below. We're going to have quite a few of them. I'll see you guys next time.